After Yin Shanshan got her face destroyed, her boyfriend dumped her. Her family shipped her off to the countryside to fend for herself. And I was the only one who stayed. I taught myself reconstructive surgery techniques and helped her get her looks back. But right when we were about to get engaged, her ex, Zhang Yongnian, showed up out of nowhere, knife pressed to his own chest, threatening to die. If you marry him, I'll kill myself. Your call. Shanshan broke down crying, ran straight into his arms, and tore our engagement papers to shreds. I'm calling it off. I'm done with the engagement. They held each other tight, like two star-crossed lovers who'd finally found their way back after everything. I let out a bitter laugh and tugged the corner of my mouth. My eyes burned before I could stop them. Deep down, I knew. The girl who used to laugh all the time, who'd crack jokes and poke fun at herself, she was gone for good. Now somehow I was the villain, the one who'd torn two people apart. I took a few deep breaths, swallowed the bitterness clawing up my chest, grabbed the mic from the MC, and was the first one to speak, wishing them a lifetime of happiness. Every blessing that was supposed to be mine, I handed right back. Every single word. Yeah. We were never from the same world. We were always going to end up back where we belonged. Yin Shanshan was still that untouchable heiress, nothing like the scarred, broken girl everyone used to look down on. A few years back, my dad botched a surgery, or at least that's what the patient's family claimed. They dragged his name through the mud and destroyed his reputation. Everything we owned got sold off to pay debts. Dad had nowhere to turn. He took his own life. Mom fell apart from the grief, and she followed him not long after. Those people drained my family dry, then turned their eyes on me. Right when I was backed into a corner with nowhere left to run, Yin Shanshan showed up and pulled me out of the gutter. We were around the same age, and since my dad had been the Yin family's private doctor, she was kind enough to take me in. From that point on, I kept my head down and stayed in my lane. What wasn't mine, I never once reached for. I kept the admirers off her back. There were plenty who wouldn't leave her alone. All I ever wanted was to quietly stay by her side. That was enough for me. But then one accident changed everything. After a huge fight with her ex Zhang Yongnian, Shanshan was heading home when some obsessed stalker threw acid in her face. The doctors were straight up about it. The burns were severe, getting her face back to what it was, nearly impossible. There could even be permanent damage. Shanshan was completely shattered. She hadn't even had time to process it when Zhang Yongnian coldly asked to break up. She swallowed her pride and begged him to stay, and all she got back was pure disgust. Once the Yin family figured out she was no longer useful to them, they cut off all treatment on the spot and shipped her straight off to the countryside. Those days, Shanshan's whole face was wrapped in thick white bandages. Every move she made was careful, timid. She tried reaching out to the locals, but all she got was mockery. Even the village kids called her ugly. Every time it happened, no matter how much I talked to her, she couldn't hear me, completely drowning in her own pain. All I could do was hold her. You're not ugly, you've always been beautiful, you still are. She gripped my clothes tight, voice cracking as she whispered. Are you gonna leave me too, just like everyone else? I thought about it for a second. Never. Only after hearing that would she slowly settle down, arms wrapping gently around my waist, face buried in my chest, quietly crying. Wai Sheng, you're all I have, you're really all I've got. If you ever want to leave, just tell me, I'll let you go. I didn't say anything back. I turned back to watching reconstructive surgery tutorials. At first, I could only practice the techniques on small animals, all while grinding to earn money on the side and doing basic skincare for her, doing everything I could to give her the best life possible. Ever since the Yin family threw her out, they never sent us a single cent. No medical bills, no living expenses. Lucky for me, I was young and had energy. Days I hauled heavy loads for people. Nights I picked up gigs at clubs. It was enough to scrape by. The spoiled princess she used to be slowly started to fade. She learned to cook and do laundry for me, and sometimes she'd make little crafts at home to bring in extra cash. Life was tight, but there was sweetness in it too. But those warm days, they're just a distant memory now, long gone. After the engagement fell through, I became the butt of everyone's jokes. Most people figured I'd be furious, because in their eyes, this was a once-in-a-lifetime shot at marrying into money. But I didn't make a scene. I went on like nothing happened, keeping Yin Shanshan's schedule running like clockwork. Things between us felt like they'd gone back to the very beginning. Not long after, Shanshan's stepmom tracked me down and got straight to the point. What did I want as compensation? Compensation? Just give me money. The stepmom burst out laughing right then and there. Wai Sheng, I swear I respect you more every day. You know how to play the game and you know when to fold. Smart guy. I just gave a quiet nod and left it at that. Once I sent her off, I pulled out my phone and started looking for a new place to stay. With that money, me and the Yin family were square. If I stuck around any longer, things were only going to get messier. I'd barely gotten the transfer confirmation text when the door slammed open. Shanshan walked in, pulling Zhang Yongnian behind her. She never knocked, just her thing. But she didn't notice the look on Zhang Yongnian's face. She waved me over, all casual. Wai Sheng Yongnian has a little sister. She got into a car accident and has a scar on her face. Here's her photo. Think you can fix it? I glanced over at Zhang Yongnian and didn't budge. He had this smug little smirk plastered on his face, eyes dripping with satisfaction. Shanshan, don't bother Song. My sister's fine. I mean, I'm the one who blew up your engagement, so it makes sense he'd have a problem with me. And honestly, I owe Song a thank you for taking care of Shanshan all these years, helping her get her face back, and basically handing her right back to me. I wasn't trying to ruin things for you. I just love Shanshan that much. It's not something you'd understand. So how could I ask you to do anything for my sister? She's been dealing with the talk for years now anyway. She's used to it. It is what it is. As he said it, his face dropped into this wounded, heartbroken look. The words dealing with the talk hit Shanshan like a gut punch. It brought her straight back to everything she went through. She'd barely made it out of those dark days herself. Seeing Jiang Yongnian put on that act, she turned to me with something like blame in her eyes. Song Huaishen, can you just be the bigger person? I appreciate the trust, Miss Yin, but I can't make any calls based on a photo. I need to see her in person before I can give you a real answer. I'm not going anywhere. Why don't you bring her by and I'll take a look myself? Before I could even finish, Shanshan went quiet. She stared at me, clearly thrown off, picking up on the distance in my tone. It wasn't like I'd never called her Miss Yin before, but back then it came with warmth. Now it just sounded cold. Not that it was surprising. A broke guy who'd clawed his way back from rock bottom falling for a pampered heiress. That's just human nature. But I knew my place. I knew I wasn't in her league, so I kept it all locked up inside. As long as I could be near her and know she was okay, that was all I needed. Even if she never loved me back, I was fine with that. That accident pulled us so close together. I'd let myself dream a little. Maybe we'd never have to go back, that I'd take care of her for the rest of my life and never let her hurt again. And she'd started caring for me too. She'd put ointment on my scraped up hands after I'd been hauling things all day. On the nights I'd stumble in drunk from working the clubs, she'd have a warm bowl of hangover soup waiting. She'd cook and do my laundry. We looked just like a real couple, carrying each other, giving everything we had. But it all came to an end. She went back to the world she was born for, and I was still just me, nothing to my name. The day after she got back with Zhang Yongnian, they moved in together.